We've covered topics, fractions, decimals. The next logical thing to study would be percent. Percent is actually means per hundred or per hundredth. If you think of a percent as a cent, like this penny is a cent, that would be 1/100th of a dollar. Because we need 100 pennies to make a dollar. This is a fractional way to say 1 penny. We could also say it as a decimal, because the 1 is in the 100th column. And we could also say this as a percent, 1%. The percent sign is made with a small circle on the top, a slanted diagonal line, and another circle here, or a variation of. So what we have here is 3 different ways to call a penny. Just the same way as we could call perhaps Margaret, could be called Marge. Or maybe we could call Maggie. Those are all different names for the same person. And these are different names for the same amount. A fraction, that's the fraction form. The decimal form. And the percent form. Let's look at this another way. If we think of our place value, the percents, the fractions, the decimal numbers are to the right of the whole numbers. Remember that when we go from the whole numbers into the fractional or decimal side of the number line, there's a decimal point here, separating the whole numbers from the decimal numbers. 1 penny would be 1 in the hundredths column. If we were to write this as a decimal, I'm going to bring my decimal point down a little bit, it would be filling up this column, the tenths column, because that's really where the dime belongs, because it is 10 pennies, or 10, it would be 10 hundredths if we said it like this. This is the dime. That's the penny. All right, so we could say 1 penny like this as a decimal number. Also call it 1/100th, because there's 1 in the 100th column. And as a percent, we could call this 1%. Now, why have so many different names for the same thing? As we learned when we were talking about fractions, sometimes a problem's information is stated to you in a fractional form. Sometimes, if you're talking about perhaps money, that would be given to you in a decimal form. So it's helpful to be able to go back and forth within the different ways of saying fraction, decimal, percentage, in order to accommodate what type of information that you're getting in the situation. Usually the situation is explained to you in a story problem, but we're going to have to understand how these rename before we can go much farther.